In her 19 years on the professional women's bowling tour, Aleta Sill has had her share of ups and downs. Tonight she looks to tie the all-time title record as she goes for title number 30. The Southern Virginia Open is next. Bowling Association returns to the warm weather and warm hearts of Danville, Virginia. Welcome inside Country Club Lanes for the finals of the Southern Virginia Open. Hi everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt, and for the second straight week we have 4 veterans and 1 newcomer on our telecast. Sitting at the top of the ladder is Aleta Sill. She needs to capture just 1 match in order to tie the all-time title record of 30. In the number 2 spot, trying to recapture her winning form, is Tammy Turner. After falling out of the show last week, Jackie Mickiewicz hung tough last night to qualify 3rd. In the 4th spot is Brenda Norman, and she's making her TV debut. Dee Davidson had just enough last night to hang on to the number 5 spot. And tonight, it is truly my honor and pleasure to be standing beside a man who has won a PBA title in each of 5 consecutive decades. Right now, let's look at his last title in 1992 with Justin Romick. Dick, welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Jan. It's always nice to be rubbing elbows with a champion like yourself. It's great to be here and watch these beautiful ladies bowl tremendous scores. In fact, you spoke of 4 veterans. They have a total of 41 titles amongst them. And the newcomer, Brenda Norman, is looking for her first title. But on the average of the TV pair, the overall average, 221. 2 of the bowlers have overcame that, but the 3 top bowlers have not. So we'll look and see if they can master this.
Well, the big story tonight, of course, beside you, Dick, is that Aleta Sill could tie Lisa Wagner's all-time title record with 30 titles if she wins tonight. But Aleta's looking at another number.
Yes, she is. She's looking at the MasterCard $50,000 first place, or a 300 game prize. So if she gets that, that's over $1 million.
Yeah, she wants to be the first woman to reach that $1 million. And at the other end of the spectrum, we have Brenda Norman. It seems to be the rule out here, instead of the exception anymore, to have a newcomer on the telecast. Dick, Brenda showed us some real guts last night.
Yes, she did. She started off with 5 strikes in a row, left this 2-7 split in the 6th frame, failed to make that, but then struck out for 266, and she came on like gangbusters.
Wow, well, we'll see if she can maintain that focus tonight. Brenda's ready for that first match. It's Dee Davidson against Brenda Norman. Dee Davidson is going to be up first here at the Southern Virginia Open. Brenda Norman made that choice. She's going to have Dee start. That means Dee will finish last, so the pressure would be on her in the 10th frame. That's what we saw last night from Dee strikes.
Sure, she throws a very strong ball. You know, I think she does have a little bit of advantage. She has 14 years of experience compared to Brenda Norman's 2 years. So, but Brenda, showing the last night the way she did it, she can overcome that.
She can. Well, she steps up right now for her first pitch on TV. First roll of the bowling ball. And coming up a little bit light. She told us last night, we asked, are you going to be nervous? She said, of course I'm going to be nervous.
Do you remember your first time on TV?
Oh, I do, but it went by so quick. You know, I really didn't even get a chance to think. I think I shot 180-something, but Cindy Coburn Carroll, of course, shot 259 at me. But you don't have time to think. You don't know what's happening. And we told her last night, you know, hey, take your time, play your game, think a little bit.
Changing balls to shoot that with the plastic ball to shoot straight at the 10 pin. Brenda Norman holding the ball waist high, using a 5-step delivery, pushing out on the 4th step. With that swing, shoulder level high, a good knee bend, and that head stays still. Beautiful shot.
Oh, what a great finish position. 24 years old, she can still do that. Hey, Dick, do you remember your first telecast?
I was very nervous, and then my last telecast, I was very nervous also. So I get the butterflies.
But all the ones in between, you were okay, right?
No.
Ooh, sent that one way wide. I don't know if she's trying to trust it and give it room.
There's a little bit of what we call a slick spot or a little out-of-bounds shot where she'll hit, maybe 35, 40 feet down the lane. And there we go. 2 or 3 board, slides, makes the ball slide a little bit farther, doesn't get back to the pocket.
So she'll probably need, you think she needs to keep inside of that spot?
Keep inside that 2 or 3 board. Around the 5th or 6th board would be preferable.
Again, she's going to change balls to shoot the spare. A good lesson. Now, is that something you do, Dick? Do you change bowling balls to shoot a spare?
Certainly. I use the plastic or the hard rubber, highly polished ball to shoot straight at the spare. And all these lady pros here, I notice they do the same things.
Well, in today's game with the reactive resin equipment, it's tough to shoot spares if you don't change balls.
You can hook the ball to a spare. You can, but it's not really.
Might not be the best choice all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Dee Dee looks like she did last night in position round. Nothing but strikes.
Dee Dee Davidson throws that power ball. A little bit high backswing. Good knee bend. I noticed all the girls throw a nice follow through, good knee bend, shoulders square to the foul line. Always keep that head swing.
And that's the result you get.
Yes.
Something bothered Dee Dee. She backed off. She leads by 12 pins right now through 2 frames. Such a different atmosphere during TV. All week, everything's going on.
Yes.
You hear a lot of noise, a lot of commotion. But in TV, it's silent. And so if something happens, it really catches your attention.
A little bit of movement, a little bit of noise, you're right.
Oh, boy, she told us last night, hey, if I have a shot like that tomorrow, I'll be dangerous. And she is. Brenda stepping up in the 3rd frame, trailing by 22 pins. So first telecast, she needs to get some strikes going early because Dee Dee looks tough.
I noticed in her practice shots before the show opened, she was changing balls back and forth. And when you're in question like that, it's disturbing. Oh, bad break, bad break. 4-9 split.
Ooh, and she made the move, Dick. She's been light twice. So she made the move, but now came high, leaving the 4-9.
Here. See, she was farther inside of her spot. She had a little more dry area, and the ball charged a little bit, causing the 4-9.
Try and slide it over.
Ooh,
Oh,
close. Nice try.
that was a great attempt. So it looks like what's happening out there, Dick, is the opposite of what many of you at home always think. Sometimes you want to move left to get the hook. You don't always want to get right because sometimes there's conditioner out there.
And she moved extreme left and tried to play the dry and just did miss the 4-pin.
Well, things aren't going so well for Brenda Norman. But there's a start for her, a strike in the 4th frame. After that 4-9 open, Dee Dee Davidson leads by 36 pins. Early in the match, though. Stay with us for more from Country Club Lanes. The Southern Virginia Open is brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. We're back at the Southern Virginia Open. There's a look at the beautiful trophy these players are fighting for tonight. Dee Dee Davidson will be stepping up in the 4th frame, working on 3 strikes. If she continues to strike and shoots a 300 game, there'll be a $50,000 bonus courtesy of MasterCard.
Wow. Sometimes that pause for a commercial disturbs the bowlers a little bit.
It does.
It does.
Sure, just like any sport. You know, you're active, and you all of a sudden sit and wait.
Let me go. Let me go. But without the sponsors, we wouldn't have a show, so we love them.
That's right, we do. They're important. Crossed over a little bit on that shot. She's shooting at the 4.78. No problem. Still has a 33-pin lead. Through 4 frames, there's a look at the scoreboard. That 8 with the circle signifies a split. Brenda Norman left a 4-9 split in the third. Ooh, right back on track in the pocket, but the 7-pin stand.
Notice she lofted the ball a little bit more that time to make the ball what we call skid through the head and then get to the break point. And there's the hit. We're going to see where the 4-pin just lays in the gutter, the channel.
But she hit a little more half pocket on that one. Didn't quite carry it out.
Oh, mistake. You know, going back to last night when Brenda Norman had 5 strikes in a row, left a 2-7 split, missed it, then struck out for 266. Now she left the 4-9 split in the 3rd frame.
We see Dee Dee missing that 7-pin, just slid off in the channel. Oh, disaster.
She left the 4-9 split and then got a strike right after that. So we'll see if this continues from last night where the split gets her going.
Right, Dick, and in fact, it was on this pair of lanes, 17 and 18. That's where she bowled her position round. And you're right, it did get her going. And you asked her, Dick, was there any special thoughts or preparation she had for her first show? Here's what she said.
My only thought is that I hope I bowl well and that I have a lot of fun while I'm doing it. I want to enjoy every minute because I know it's going to go by really fast. So that's really the only thoughts I've had about it.
I guess she believed us when we told her it would go fast. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, with that double and Dee Dee's error on the 7-pin, Brenda just trails by 11 pins halfway through the match.
And this strike could set her up, or she'd only be 1 pin down.
Oh. She's yelling, come on. She is mic'd. Coming a little bit high, leaving that 4-pin. And she carried all those last night. But you made a good point, Dick. She's making great shots now since that split.
Right. Here's the hit. A little bit high in the pocket, but the 2-pin didn't quite kick out the 4. So leaving the 4, she'll take her ball, the spare ball, shoot directly across the lane. Make that spare.
Actually, what she told us is when she left that split last night, she shoots it from the left.
Yes.
When she left that split last night, she said, well, she sat down and said, that put me in my place, didn't it? Then got up and proceeded to bowl. Dee Dee TV pair averaged 223. She liked this pair. She bowled her position round right next door on lanes 15 and 16.
She was one of the bowlers that overcome the 221 average overall on the TV pair. She and Brenda Norman.
Ooh, and crossing over again on lane 18, leaving the 5-8. Dee Dee having a little bit of trouble on 18 right now.
Really 2 bad shots on there, leaving the 4-7-8 frame before on that lane. Now leaving the 5-8. Trying to overpower the lane up there.
Well, and she usually does that quite well, though. Covers the spare up, no problem. Now let's take a look at some of the other finishers in the tournament. Sixth place, Liz Johnson. She fell from 3rd all the way to 6th in position round. And Kim Adler, she had the 2nd highest pinfall this week, but a bad match play record, and she ends up 7th.
And here's Marianne Rupo, one of our champions, along with Wendy McPherson, who's our 2-time bowler of the year in the past 2 years, correct?
That's correct. Back going up in the 7th frame. Dee Davidson taking a little time with some tape. She leads by 12 pins. Both players working on a spare. Wants to make sure that fits right. You mentioned it. She lofted it out, hung up a little bit. She's playing with her feel. Want to make sure you have a good fit in the bowling ball. Coming up light, the 3-9. So what appeared to be a very lined up and aggressive Dee Davidson the first 3 frames has all of a sudden turned around.
Yeah, that particular shot, she looked like she tried to round the ball a little bit more, throw out toward the gutter and let it come back. But the frame before on that lane, she threw straight and hard and leaving the half 7. So she's not comfortable at all right now.
This can be a tough spare now. She's going to want to hook it at this spare, isn't she, Dick?
Yes, she is. Yes.
She covers it up no problem and maintains a 10-pin lead over Brenda Norman. But we'll find out if Brenda Norman can win her first match on TV right after this. We're back at Country Club Lanes in Danville, Virginia for the Southern Virginia Open. Brenda Norman steps up in the 7th frame in her television debut. She trails by just 10 pins. I'm Jan Schmidt along with Dick Weber. Brenda defeated Dee Davidson during match play, 236 to 170. She'd like to do it again.
And she seems to be lined up, too. The last 3 shots, 4 shots, she's been lined up pretty well in the pocket.
That was a beauty, Dick.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Now this lane here, she left the 4-9 in the 3rd frame, and then left the then got a 4-pin. And here we go. The last shot she made on lane 18, solid as can be. All 10 pins in the pit. Yes.
She's intense, and what a beautiful style she has. She said she learned her bowling, as we see, she still trails by 10. She learned her bowling from her dad. Dad Ted and Mom Dee, but Dad was her coach. They came out tonight to watch her and support her.
It's great. Always got to have that support. There's Dad right there.
He looks more nervous than Brenda.
It's the worst seat in the world, I tell you.
This is a big shot to tie the match.
Yeah, that's a tie.
And
what a fighter. What
we're
a
all
fighter.
even, yeah.
Dad's happy. Mom's happy.
Dee stepping up in the 8th. Now dead even. 289 this week with a low game of 170. Crossing over again, Dick, lane 18.
Right at the last moment, as she releases, she really forces that left shoulder to go forward, and that makes her pull the ball.
Well, she's again looking in her bag. Obviously not a good feel.
No, and when you're uncomfortable, in only one game, anything can happen in one game naturally, but you gotta be relaxed, comfortable, confident.
Well, up in the 9th, this is a key shot. And a great one.
It was a great one. Saw that 5 right into the 10.
This gives her the lead again by 10 pins.
Watch this 5-pin go right into the 10 pin. Oh, just crowded everything in there.
Dice-o-matic. Dee lifting her hair up, trying to cool herself down. Brenda Norman up in the 9th. Right now needs this strike to make it all even. Max score for her, 233. If she takes it off the sheet, Dee Davidson, same max score. We could have a tie if they both go off the sheet.
Come on, yeah!
Now, in a tie match, you have a 9th and 10th frame roll off?
We do. 9th and 10th frame. And
So
if that ties, they have another 9th and 10th frame.
So now, even though they're evenly matched right now, count is very, very important in that set frame, right?
Exactly. Count is huge. Situation is, if Brenda takes it off the sheet, 3 strikes right here, she cannot lose right now. Worst she could do is tie.
And that's a good reason why she chose to finish first.
Right.
Because you can always put the pressure on the other individual when they need 2 strikes or whatever. A little early.
Oh.
A little early.
And showing a little sign of pressure there. But crossing over, she could have gotten a break the same way Didi did, but didn't.
Set the ball down just a little bit too soon. Got ahead of the ball a little bit, leaving the 6-10 spare, which won't be difficult for her to make.
Yeah, but the 8 count could hurt her.
Yes, it could.
So we need to get the business done of the spare first, and then fill all 10. Oh.
She knew when she released it, she thought, oh, there's a chop, there's a chop, the 6 off the 10.
Look at this, how close. Oh. Whew, that was a break.
Matter of inches in this game, isn't it?
Well, if she strikes here, she'll have a final score of 211.
And it's important for her to get a strike here.
It's very important because Didi would need then at least 9 spare strike to win.
There you go.
And you can tell she's disgusted that she didn't make that shot, the first shot in the 10th. All she can do is sit and wait, just like Didi sat and waited last night for Kim Adler to make her shots to see if she'd make the show or not.
Didi hasn't hit the pocket for the last 3 shots on lane 18 here.
That's right. She's been high in Brooklyn. Right. See what she does.
Oh.
Oh, my.
There's a
that
winner.
7 count lost it.
That's a winner for Brenda Norman.
Holy cow. And this is exactly, look at this. Going high again on lane 18. This is what we saw happen as Didi sat there last night. Kim Adler struck. Kim Adler now needed an 8 count. Got a 6 count to get Didi into the show.
Right.
Oh, my. And Brenda can't believe it.
First time on TV, first match win. She's got to have a little confidence now.
With the strike here, Didi would have 210. She'd lose by 1 stick. Ooh. And hitting the pocket, but it doesn't matter. Brenda Norman wins her first match on television against Didi Davidson. When we return, she'll move on to challenge Jackie Mickiewicz. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Southern Virginia Open at Country Club Lanes, where 1 year ago, history was made as Michelle Feldman became the first woman to shoot a nationally televised 300 game.
This place is going crazy right now.
The first woman ever to shoot 300. Well, that was a great moment for women's bowling and women's sports. Right now, Brenda Norman takes on Jackie Mickiewicz.
Anytime you see a 300, it's exciting, isn't it?
It sure is, but I'll tell you, Dick, the first one. I mean, the first woman to do it. I mean, the men have done it for a while, but the women haven't. Even on both lanes, 3 strikes on 17 and 18. And Brenda steps up for her first shot after winning her first match on television. Oh.
You know, it's an interesting thing now. Jackie made her, is going to make Brenda finish on lane 18, and actually, that's her best lane, really. She's hit the pocket much better on lane 18 than she has on 17.
She did, but she struck equally. But you're right. She has hit the pocket really good on 18. She defeated Jackie Miscavige in match play also, 212 to 204. And again, Brenda shoots all those spares from the left side with a spare ball. Some of the players do it. I'll do it on certain conditions. If there's too much, for instance, this week, there was a lot of conditioner across the middle. It's hard to get the ball across there. So sometimes we'll move left and just shoot it straight down the left side. First look at Jackie Miscavige from Du Bois, Pennsylvania.
Goes somewhere like a semi-roller, a spinner ball. There's Jackie with a 5-step delivery. Doesn't have a great knee bend, but good follow-through. Good follow-through, and look at the solid strike. That's the main thing, the result.
Exactly, and there's more than one way to release the ball. And in fact, that's encouraging to people at home. If you have knee problems or something, you don't have to really be able to. It might be beneficial under some circumstances, but look at what Jackie's doing. Everybody has their own style. She leaves a 10-pin on lane 17. Jackie qualified here last year in the 3rd spot.
Failed to make the first game, but she says things are going to change this year.
Well, she lost to Michelle Feldman, who then went on to shoot that 300 we just saw. Uh-oh. I was afraid that wasn't going to slide. And we talked about Brenda Norman in position round last night with that 266 game. She was in 7th going into position round. That took her all the way to the 4th spot. Leaves a 10-pin, and boy, she is emotional.
Solid 8 the first frame, and then a solid 10 the second frame. Yeah. Gets a little aggravating at times.
It does, and I know everyone at home can relate to that.
Sure thing.
But the key here, and key for professionals, when it happens, pick up the spare.
Make that spare, you're right.
There's Brenda's parents, Ted and Dee Norman.
He taught her how to bowl. Taught her how to bowl.
Did a fine job. I'm going to check out some lessons from him as soon as we're done here today.
Me too.
Well, you and I both turn the ball just like that, don't we?
No.
Oh.
Sorry to say that.
Okay, Brenda trails by just 1 going into the 3rd frame. Coming a little bit high on 17. That's happened a few times. Fast 8 on that one.
That's the lane that she left the 4-9 on in the last game. And see, the ball really makes a turn. The last moment they're leaving a solid 4-7.
And again, she'll shoot down the left side to pick it up. She's really happy just to be out here on tour. I know last year she wasn't real sure she wanted to be here. Conflict over whether she wanted to be home or out here. This year she wants to be here, and it's showing in her bowling.
Well, the key thing with her is she wants to have fun. And what more? You can't be any more relaxed than that.
This is Jackie's 2nd TV appearance this year. In position round, she went from 4th to 3rd with a 259 game. A couple big games last night.
Yeah, last week at the tournament in Pennsylvania, she was 4th in position round, and then she shot a 162 game, and that dropped her to 6th place. So she says, not this week. I qualified 4th, and I'm going to go up instead of down.
And that's always a big key, to look upward instead of down. And sometimes you get a tendency to look, oh, God, I don't want to fall out, instead of trying to move up.
Oh, that's a shot.
Oh.
tough spare, the 258. The 258. She chops the 2 right off the 5. No way to get that 5 out.
It is a tough spare. If you hit it too high, you leave the 5. You hit it too light, you leave the 8. Trails by 11 right now, although Jackie said in losing last week, dropping out of the show, she felt that the whole thing helped her confidence for this week, just the good bowling, because the shot was tough last week. So she didn't feel so bad about it. Brenda Norman now leading by 11 pins with that chopped spare by Jackie. TV pair average 235.75. She liked this pair. As we said, it's the pair she shot the 266 on in position round.
Half 10.
Boy, I tell you, she's hitting the pocket every shot. They're not falling down. Mom and Dad looking on, going, we're trying to help it. We are. What do you do when that happens to you, Dick? Can't carry.
Oh, you got to keep hitting that pocket, and you might make a minor little change in speed or something like that. But I can't make a major move. I don't know. I don't suggest it to a lot of people.
Because that's when you'll get in trouble.
That's right.
And you find out at the end of the game that 9 spare might have been good enough, and then you really are hitting yourself for it.
That's for sure.
Let's look at the rest of the finishers. We already showed you 6 through 13. 15th place, Leanne Barrett, last week's champion. And Brenda Edwards, she's a rookie out here, having a good showing.
And there's Sandra Jo Odom and Michelle Feldman, who shot the 300.
Shanna Ray back in the finals again. Kendra Cameron in her first year out, 3 shows and 1 win already. .24 bowlers bowl in match play this year. Last 2 years we've had 32.
Good shot.
Come on.
Oh.
She just cannot carry right now, and either the ball's just driving a hair hard or it's quitting on her.
And what would you suggest? A little more speed, or just move a couple of boards to the left? Same
Well, I
spot.
think on the left lane, I would move if it was me. I don't play with speed as much. Not sure with Brenda what she's more comfortable with.
Yeah, the back end seems to be a little more violent on the left lane.
Mm-hmm. Now she's covering the spares.
The little spare maker. Or the little young spare maker, I should say.
Jackie steps up in the 5th frame. She trails by 9 pins, and she has a 215 TV pair average, so most of the bowlers did like it, as you mentioned earlier on in the show, Dick.
Mm-hmm.
She's working on a strike. She can take the lead with another strike.
She likes to keep that ball light, doesn't she? She likes to keep that 5 pin going toward the 7 all the time.
7 pin just slid off the back end. She's going for some rosin. Apparently the player's having a little difficulty with feel. It's been warm. What am I saying? It's been hot here all
terribly
week.
hot.
Yeah, and a little trouble hanging out of the ball. A little perspiration. The heat of the TV lights does not help.
She reached in the bag to get a little rosin on her hand. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what she did.
Another half 10 for her. She left that in the 2nd frame. You know, she made a comment last night that I really liked. And she likes to help out running pro-ams and in events around her area, because she knows how much hard work it is for the people on the pro tour for her.
Right. She had a regional in her bowling center, and she said, boy, I have such respect for the proprietors now and managers. It's so hard.
Great comment.
Well, with that spare, we're all even, and Jackie Mickiewicz hopes to better her 4th place finish here from last year when we return with the conclusion of this match. PWBA, little known fact, Jackie Mickiewicz holds the PWBA record for a 3-game series, 877, 288, 289, 300. She did that in the PWBA regional in Van West, Ohio. It was the Van West Open. That actually is a WIBC record also.
Yes, it is. And she had 877 in the first 3 games, 1166 in the 4 games. Gee whiz. Something else.
That was incredible. We bowled through 2 frames while we were gone. It was even when we left. Brenda Norman now leads by 1 pin. She had a 9 spare strike. Jackie had 8 spare strikes, so the pin count the difference. Brenda working on a strike can increase the lead to 11 with another strike. And again, a 10 pin. Boy, she is really struggling with carry.
Ball is going a little bit long for her and really not making that charge that she's thinking she's getting, leaving the half 10.
And I wonder if she's getting into a situation of not making the move off of each individual lane. You know, because it seems like she keeps driving a little too hard on the left lane, coming a little weak on the right lane. Sometimes you get caught up and you don't really think about the fact you go 110s, 4s, 10s, 4s, I shouldn't move.
Good point, good point.
But she spares it up, maintains her 1-pin lead.
Coming into the 9th frame is the old foundation frame.
She really needs to set up a strike because Jackie Mickiewicz is working on the strike in the 8th. Brenda Norman has hit the pocket for 8 straight frames and has 1 strike to show for it.
Good shot, good shot.
You called it, Dick.
All the way.
That was a
All
beauty.
the way.
And that was a key shot that sets her up on target for her max score of 214. However, Jackie's working on a strike in the 8th, so Brenda can only sit and wait. Jackie could step up and shut her out. Max score of 223.
She credits on her husband for a lot of help that she gets. So see if she can get the pressure here. Good shot there.
That was a beauty.
Yes, it was.
Well, she really likes bowling out here on tour. She struggles with wanting to be home with her husband and be out here, but she says she likes it too much to stop. That's why. Shots like this.
Solid.
She now leads by 9 pins. I believe she's going to need 2 strikes to shut out Brenda. Oh, and the 4-pin stand, so Brenda Norman will have a chance.
She threw that ball well, but right at the last moment, she really gave it a little extra boost and caused the ball really to tail at the end, leaving the solid 4.
Well, first business is to shoot this spare. With a spare strike, she would have a score of 202. She covers it, but this strike, very important. For Phil ball is important here, Dick, because 202 would force Brenda Norman, at least she has to have the first strike, and then she'd have to go 9 spare.
Just like Brenda Norman did in the first game of the 10th frame. Got that strike on the Phil ball.
Mm-hmm. Always working for the most pins you can on your Phil ball.
Good shot.
202 final score for Jackie Mickiewicz. Here's the situation. Brenda Norman needs the first strike. She gets it, she'll then need 9 spare or another strike to move on. It's her first telecast. Pressure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Now, she didn't respond well the first game in the 10th frame, that first ball. Under the pressure, she pulled it a bit, but spared it and then struck.
That's right. She rushed the shot a little bit, like I say, pulling the ball a little bit.
Boy, what I wouldn't give for a little of that intensity.
You know it. She says, do I ever get a breather in these games?
Wow, this is what it's all about. Oh, what a shot.
Now she has to have 9 pins and a spare.
This is a replay.
Come on! Yeah!
We saw Mom's arm go up in the background there. She needs at least 9 on this ball. And she needs the spare. Oh my.
She does have intensity.
I do not want to shoot a 10-pin for a spare to win a match. She needs a spare. If she misses it, we're going to have a tie.
She hasn't missed a spare yet.
I think she'd rather be thrown at a strike. Trust me there. Oh my God. The nerves were too much. It's a tie match, Dick. We have a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. She needed this spare to win, and I'll tell you, that's tough.
Yes, it is. Now, Jackie will lead off on the left lane, the first shot, and then Brenda. Nope, I'm sorry. It's just the opposite.
They'll go in the same order that they went for the match.
Oh, I see.
So Brenda started the match. Brenda will start the roll-off, the 9th and 10th frame roll-off. We're in a tie. Players tied at 2:02. She has to shake that right off, Dick, and get right back up and make a shot now. Oh, and a big, big break.
Yeah, she thought she was a little light, and the ball just made that
She was a little
last
light.
moment charge, and just cut this 10 pins up. Oh,
Ooh.
what a mix.
Almost a 7-10. How hard to shake that off and get back up. And Jackie, with new hope, had to sit there and feel she was out of the match. Ooh, and even a 4-pin. Wow, we haven't had a roll-off for a while.
You haven't had a roll-off for a
Not
while.
for a while. It's been a while. Been close, though. We've had a lot of close matches.
See, on the PBA tour now, the men shoot 1 ball now in case of a tie.
You know, that's tough because then the lanes really play a huge difference, because if one lane's better than the other,
That's for sure.
you don't get the ball on both lanes. Well, Jackie will finish out first here, the same as she finished the match.
And this will be her 10th frame, correct?
That's right. If you just tuned in, it's a 9th and 10th frame roll-off for the second match of the Southern Virginia Open. Brenda Norman sitting there waiting. Jackie Miscavige up in the 10th. This pin count is huge.
Certainly is. What she can get is 50 now, a total of 50. So Brenda Norman would have to get the first 2 and then just keep it on the lane.
If Jackie strikes out, Brenda will need the first 2 strikes in the 10th. Now, if Jackie doesn't strike right here, Brenda's going to need the first strike, or a spare strike could be a tie again.
Could be. And they go right back in the same order. Is that correct?
Exactly. They'd continue in that order until someone wins. Oh boy, she's putting the pressure on her. I can't imagine Dick sitting there after you just missed a single pin spare and now you have to get up, and now you're going to have to double to win.
Yeah, but with the fight that she has, after last night, after the first match today, and then this match. Oh, big count, big count.
That count was really big. 50, a score of 50 in the roll-off for Jackie Mickiewicz. Coming high here.
Look at that 2-pin trip to 4 and 4 whacking the 9 out.
Yeah, if the 4-9 had stood, that 8 count would have made a big difference. Brendan Norman now needs 2 strikes. 2 strikes and 1 pin, actually.
Oh, it was down, and then the pin held it up.
Oh, and the crowd is looking. The pin fell, but the rack knocked it down. The rack knocked it down. It does not count. Brendan Norman loses. Look at this shot. Dick, talk about the pin carry here. Look at this.
Look at that. Pin was down just about. Pin coming over, the head pin coming over, and it's setting the 5-pin back up. Look at that. Oh.
It may have gone, but the rack right here pushes it down. It doesn't count. The 5-pin had to be respotted. The best Brenda can do is a score of 40 in the roll-off.
I think she's done a wonderful job for the first time on TV.
Well, Brendan Norman finishes in 4th. Coming up, you'll get a look at how the competition stacks up this year with a recap of our PWBA leaders. We're back with our no-nonsense shot of the day. After Brendan Norman and Jackie Mickiewicz tied at 2:02, we're in a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. Brenda needs 2 strikes.
And she seems like she throws the ball real well. And look at the ball come in, making the charge, and the 5-pin, and no, it's down. But the head pin came over and stood it up. That is a no-nonsense shot. And she knows it's there. Ball.
By virtue of that 5-pin, Jackie Mickiewicz went on, and she will now face the Taminator, Tammy Turner. No Nonsense, again, one of our new sponsors, provided pantyhose for all the ladies. We have a couple of the dignitaries on hand from No Nonsense. Diane Warren, the Director of Brand Management, and Heather Craig, Brand Manager. We're glad to have them with us. Jackie opens with a big strike.
You know, the last few shots, she's pretty well lined in. She looked like she moved out a little bit more, threw the ball a little bit harder.
First look at Tammy Turner, 27 years old, been a pro for 5 years. West Palm Beach, Florida is where she comes from. Ooh, and a 10-pin. A lot of 10-pins on lane 18, Dick.
Well, the ball looks like it's going up there and then stopping, what we call a rollout shot, leaving the soft 10.
Tammy taking some time, putting some rosin in the finger and thumb holes on the ball. Fingers and thumb.
Watch how she shoots the 10-pin hard and straight.
Well, Tammy's had a tough year, and you talked to her, Dick, about riding the roller coaster. Here's what she told us.
Yeah, actually, I've had my best tournaments this year. My first tournament back, I made the show, and I made the show in the U.S. Open, and here I am again. And I've also had my worst tournaments. I've missed 3 cuts this year. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, but I'm very, very happy with this year. I feel lucky to have made all the cuts I have and the shows I've been on, so I'm feeling pretty good right now.
And she feels pretty good after that shot, coming up with a big strike in the 2nd frame.
I noticed of all the lady pros that's on the telecast, she throws the strongest ball Tammy Turner does. Of course,
probably
that doesn't always score well either.
Doesn't always. Brenda Norman's probably pretty close behind there. Look farther out on that shot.
She's moved out both shots, both lanes.
Jackie Miscavige defeated Brenda Norman in that roll-off. We just talked about that 50-39. That was after a tie at 2:02. Coming up light 245, working on a double, losing a little bit of pin count there.
She doesn't have as much room as most of the ladies do, and she has to be a little more accurate, I would think.
Well, she spins the ball a little bit of a low track, and she said she's been working on trying to stay behind the ball more. She even played with some different grips, like offset thumbs, but she didn't like it, so she went back to her old grip. It feels like she's behind the ball better anyway.
She didn't chop the 2 off the 5 that time. She had a 2.58 shot against Brenda Norman, and she chopped the 2 off the 5. So that time she made sure she didn't chop it.
Tammy's average this week 226. Back off of that back injury, and we had some chiropractors on hand this week, Dr. Brian Robbins and Dr. Walter May. Big break coming for Tammy Turner.
Watch a 5-step delivery of Tammy Turner. She got great knee bend, and she hits the devil out of the ball. And watch the thin hit now. This is my favorite hit, Jan, right here. This is my favorite hit. There's nothing like it. Off the wall shot.
You like that, huh?
I love it.
Ooh, she has the pins dancing. Well, she leads by 13 pins. One of these ladies will try to stop Aleta Sill. Find out which one in a moment. Today's Ask a Pro question comes from Daryl Randolph of Grand Island, Nebraska, who asks, my problem is I can't seem to pick up spares. I miss to the left or right. I can't seem to be comfortable on any way I try to pick them up. Is there any kind of formula that I can try to get more consistent? To answer Daryl's question is 5-time titleist Kim Kennedy.
Hi, Daryl. Thanks for writing in. It was a little tough to tell from your question exactly what level player you are, but where I'd start, I think there's 2 different methods of shooting spares. The first way, which is what I recommend, is using plastic, going straight at all your spares. I think that's the safest way. The second way would be to use the 3-6-9 method, which utilizes your strikes alignment. I think if you left a 2-pin, you'd move 3 boards right, a 4-pin 6, and a 7-pin, you'd move 9 boards right. I think whichever method you choose, you really want to make sure that you use your practice time wisely before tournament play or league, because the amount of conditioner that's out there is going to make alterations. You're going to need to alter which and how much you move for each shot. I hope that helps, and good luck.
If you have a question for a PWBA member, drop us a line, care of the PWBA. The address is Ask the Pros, care of PWBA, 7171 Cherryvale Boulevard, Rockford, Illinois, 61112. We will try to answer some of your questions on the air in our future telecasts. That's Tammy Turner's shot live in the 8th frame, leaving the 10-pin. Both players have done nothing but strike since we left. We left 4 frames ago. Tammy Turner was up by 13 going into that frame.
And in those 6 strikes in a row that Tammy had, she got a couple of good breaks. What you need to win.
And slapped out a 10-pin, the strike just before that, with a messenger going across. Jackie now working on 4 in a row. She trails by 12.
Down by 2 with this shot here. Strike on 18. And she goes to the left lane. She can take the lead by 8.
3rd place is the best she's done this year. She'll at least do that this week. Uh-oh. Wow, I don't know what happened there, Dick.
Just fell off her hand. Just fell off her hand.
It.
But she's a little bit late with the ball. She planted and just released the ball a little bit too late.
I almost wonder if she caught her leg on the way through. It was pretty close.
Shame.
That really changes the story here. And look how she pulled that one, Dick. A little bit afraid of the channel after that.
Natural thing to do. Natural thing to do.
So now Jackie's going to step up in the 9th frame after disaster hit in the 8th. big change in the scoreboard here, down by about 36 pins. Max score 233. If she goes off the sheet, she can force Tammy to keep marking.
Keep marking, right.
Well, she shook it off easy enough, came back.
Yes, she did.
It's a tough thing to do. Tammy Turner in her 3rd show this year. As we talked, but missing 3 cuts. Very inconsistent. Big strike by Tammy in the 9th.
She can get by with a an 8-pin count here.
Right, doesn't even need a mark at this point.
She has had a up and down year. It's a winner.
That's all she needed. Wow, how that match turned around.
1 ball, 1 frame.
Jackie finishing up in 3rd, ties her best appearance for the year, 3,400. Tammy spares it up and she'll win this match against Jackie Mickiewicz. We'll be back with a recap of the 3 matches so far. We're back at Country Club Lanes. Here's a look at Chico and Robin Valenzuela, the proprietors here and the congenial hosts. And sitting beside Chico is Esther Morales, Chico's grandmother, who came all the way here from California. She's 83 years old, and she came to bowl in the Pro-Am. She was here for every squad of the Pro-Am. She started Chico bowling at age 10.
What a wonderful lady. What a wonderful lady she was.
We're ready for our championship match. Tammy Turner against Aleta Sill. Some may say that's how it should be. The number 1 and 2 seeds bowling for the championship. TV pair average 211 for Tammy Turner, one of the lower averages of our finalists. Even that 10-pin, however, she shot a big game in that match, 249. So
she seems to be lined up on each lane. So should be a high-scoring match, tough match all the way. Well, we've got to have this 10-pin set up. You know, going back to Chico, Jan, I met Chico 30-some years ago in match play in the PWBA tournament.
You did?
And he beat me.
Uh-oh.
I wasn't happy with that.
Ooh.
He let me know about that, too. Nice man.
Did you ever get even with him?
Never did. Never did.
They're respotting that 10-pin. But while we're waiting for that, you can join the PWBA in cyberspace. Log on to the site is www.pwba.com for all the tournament standings, schedules, news, and information the PWBA has to offer. And that was too long of a wait for Tammy to get that 10-pin.
Bad mistake. Pulled the ball well inside her mark, missing the 10-pin by a few inches.
And that website is kept up for us by Donna Hazel of Bowling World. She helps us out with that. And again, the site, www.pwba.com. First look at Aleta Sill in the championship match. Oh, what an
Solid
opening
9.
shot.
Gee whiz. That 5-pin shoots right straight back. 5-step delivery. She squares those shoulders up just right at the release of her bowling ball.
And that's why she likes to have a lot of conditioner in the front part of the lane, because she likes to play pretty square to the lane. She doesn't like to open up that much.
It's sort of a Johnny Petraglia style in the men's division, and it really takes a lot of practice to do that.
Speaking of the conditioner, in the heads in the front part of the lane. I know our tournament director, Rick Ramsey, wants to thank Roger Griffin of Rogers Pro Shop in Greensboro, North Carolina. He assisted him with the lane conditioning this week, and he was a big help.
Yes, he was. Big scores. 3 300s. 215 average, you get in the top 24.
Ooh, and Aleta stops. And that's hard to stop like that, Dick, in the middle of your approach.
She did that last night 2 times. I'm just wondering if she gets her feet going too fast, or I don't know how she stops like that.
I don't know either, but she's going to regroup. And you mentioned the 3 300s. They were by Michelle Barker, Liz Johnson, and Kim Kennedy. Anne-Marie Dugan with a 299, leaving a 10 pin in the 10th.
Well, that stop didn't bother her, that's for sure.
It was a good stop. Who knows what happened? I mean, you know, sometimes you even drag your feet a little, get them caught. Coming up light, leaving that 2-5. Again, I want to mention quick, I mentioned him quickly before, but Dr. Brian Robbins and Dr. Walter Main treated us with chiropractic care this week, and we thank them. There's the money they're playing for tonight. One of these ladies will walk home with a $9,000 check and that beautiful trophy.
Oh, I love that trophy. That's a crystal bowl. It's beautiful.
And Dick Weber, you have a lot of trophies at home, I'm sure. 26 national PBA titles, 6 senior PBA titles. I need to get closer and rub against you here.
But no crystal.
Oh, no. Well, maybe they'll let you touch it.
Oh, I did touch it. Don't tell anybody.
And the 10 pin, and boy, Tammy seems to have lost a little bit of momentum during the break between matches.
It's funny how that happens, but it does. You lose that momentum.
Well, Aleta Sill was able to come on and throw her warm-up shots on 17 and 18. If Tammy wanted to stay loose, she'd have to go to 15 and 16 and throw shots there. So you lose a little bit of the feel for the parallel you're bowling on.
No question about that 10 pin.
Exactly. Took care of business on that one. She needs $55,853 to break that $1 million in earnings. There's not going to be a 300 here tonight.
Unfortunately not.
There
But,
won't be that $50,000 MasterCard bonus.
she's climbing fast, though.
But don't forget, as she trips that 6-pin, she is going to tie, if she wins tonight, she will tie Lisa Wagner's all-time title record, 30 victories. That's a bunch.
Yes, it is. It's a tremendous amount of championships. Last night I asked her, I says, when she gets in trouble, what does she do? And she says, I go home and watch films of myself. And I get back in my timing, get back in a good release of the ball.
That's a good idea to do when you start to struggle a little bit. You want to look at what you can point out on film. As Aleta strikes, she has a commanding lead. Will she reach yet another milestone and tie Lisa Wagner's record of 30 titles? We'll be right back to find out. We're back in the championship match of the Southern Virginia Open. In the middle of the 7th frame, we went away for a few frames. Aleta Sill now leading by 44. Tammy Turner, an unfortunate break of 4-9 in the 4th. Strike, 7-count spare strike. Aleta's been in the pocket, leaving only a 7-pin in the last 2 frames. Lifetime versus Tammy Turner, 2-0 on television, looking to better that to 3-0. And again, a 7-pin.
Another light 7 frame before that, same lane.
Same lane, yep. Well, you saw the righties leaving 10 pins on lane 18, left-handers leaving 7 pins.
Now, you've watched these 2 ladies bowl in the past, Jan. Do you think the 18 years of experience that Aleta has over Tammy Turner, who has 5 years of experience on her, does she have an advantage?
I don't think so. I think when they're out there now, they're both pretty well equal. They're both seasoned. Now, we talked about Aleta going for title number 30. Dick, you asked her what other goals she had yet in bowling.
Well, I think the $1 million is in my mind. I would like to do that, be the first. I'm going to have a really good end of the year, though, because I'm still probably $50,000 short of it. So I'm going to have to make some shows and win some, and that's not always easy to do with the talent out here, but I'll try.
She's trying.
Yes, she is.
And doing a great job of it. Tammy Turner stepping up in the 8th frame with a strike up in the 7th.
Well, Tammy definitely has to go all the way out here with the 8th, 9th, and 10th frame up.
Sure, she could still put some pressure on Aleta to mark. Ooh. Wow. Really struggling on lane 18. That's where she left the 4-9. She then went high and left the 3-6-10. She now made a move and is light.
Left the tour shot, the 2-8-10.
And taking just one of the wood, but kind of a moot point right now. I don't think she really has much of a chance. Best she could shoot would be 181. Aleta just needs to show up in the 9th frame, basically.
She likes 17, though.
Well, Tammy was happy to have made the show. You know, she looks at things differently now that after the back surgery, every show's like a first show. She said, and in that regard, maybe she was a little more nervous than Aleta might be.
And she says she's always working on her game, constantly. Releases and bowling balls, what have you, speeds.
Well, Aleta led this field by 350 pins, and it seems appropriate to me as a bowler that she should win this event.
There's 3 soft 7s now in lane 18. But she says, why not leave them? I'm so far ahead.
It's enough. She doesn't even need to bowl after this. Right now she has 188 without taking another shot. That's enough, and Aleta Sill ties Lisa Wagner's record, 30 titles.
That's a tremendous amount of titles. Congratulations to her. She's a tremendous bowler.
Coming up light on there, but she's just trying to get the ball off her hand and finish out.
She's trying to get through.
Well, it doesn't matter. Aleta Sill is your champion of this year's Southern Virginia Open. Stay with Dick Weber and I will share in her excitement. The Southern Virginia Open is brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. There's your champion of the Southern Virginia Open, Aleta Sill. Final score, 203-180. She's now a 30-time champion. And here to present a beautiful check, Frank Valenzuela from Country Club Lanes.
How you doing? Aleta, I'd like to, on behalf of Country Club Lanes, I'd like to present you with another great win and another trophy. Here you go. Congratulations.
And in with the check that I know you're waiting for is Robin and Chico Valenzuela, our hosts.
Aleta, congratulations from Country Club Lanes 2, and again for making history for us. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to thank Chico, Robin. What a great week. You can't ask for better hosts and hostesses. I guess this is a history-making bowling center because Michelle shot 300 the first time, and I finally hit 30. I don't even have words for it. I'm just so elated. Thank you very much.
And Dick Weber, you have a question for a champion?
Well, Aleta, congratulations. I know you're thrilled to death, aren't you?
I can't even describe it. I never thought it would happen.
Being tied with Lisa Wagner is a thrill also.
Well, it is. Lisa's a great player. It's 30 titles is a lot, and I never thought I would get up there, but I'm glad he did.
Well, congratulations.
And how's it looking for that $1 million?
A little better now. Still have to bowl good the rest of the year, but I'm just happy with this week.
Well, it was a great week. You were a fine champion. Aleta Sill, once again, the champion of the Southern Virginia Open. Another exciting Southern Virginia Open draws to a close. For the legendary Dick Weber, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the telecast. Be sure to join us next week for the Chattanooga Open from Holiday Bowl in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Tuesday at 3 p.m. right here on ESPN. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.